now listening to No Gimmicks.
One day I got my Sith on. Okay, so I'm on one. Now I'm gonna ask you a question.
Go ahead.
In public. All right. Which one is better?
Oh,
We get this on the record. Hall or Nash?
So
Yes,
transparency. You asked me this offline.
That's what I said. I said we're getting on the record.
So my answer ain't changed. It's for me. Is out of the two is gonna be Hall. And funny, the day you asked me that question, a clip came up of him as Razor Ramon on the Jerry Springer show.
Yes, with the two kids that had
kids that had HIV. Yeah. That clip came up, and I was like, yeah, that cements it, bro. Like for him to go outside of that, and him as Razor Ramon was peak, bro, like peak. And for him to go on that show, do what he did, give the kid the Intercontinental Championship. And I think the story behind that is that it wasn't even planned. He just gave the kid the belt. Like, here.
Yeah, he had to wrestle in Anaheim that night at a house show. Yeah.
And like, here, take this belt, share it, but it's yours. And just that, bro. Outside the ring, and again, inside the ring, I think Hall is very underrated as far if we're talking like greatest of all time. I think he's very underrated. The moments that he's actually been a part of, influenced. We just one instance in particular. We talked about Hulk Hogan. Scott Hall influenced Hulk Hogan's turn.
Yes, he put the whole thing in motion.
Put the whole thing in motion.
It all was put in motion.
Yep.
Had Scott Hall. Well, let's go back further than that. What put the thing in motion was Scott Hall going to Vince McMahon about getting a raise.
Yep.
That's what put it in motion.
Put it all in motion.
Had Vince given Hall the money he wanted, Hall wouldn't have stayed at WWF. Never would have went to WCW.
That probably would have kept Nash.
Nash, I don't think Nash would have went either because they would have clicked.
Yep.
They were kind of running. They were running to WWF.
Yep.
So they never would have left. None of these things happen. I guarantee you, Hogan never goes heel because Hogan would have no reason to go. As long as he can go with this red and yellow bullshit, he's going to keep on doing it, and people will still tune in because Nitro was competitive. Before the NWO, they were competitive. They were going, back and forth. So if Scott Hall doesn't jump, none of this stuff happens. And me personally, I'm also going to say Scott Hall. I enjoyed Scott Hall more than I did Diesel.
Yeah, I agree with
Nash. That's what it is. I thought Hall was the better promo. I thought Hall was a better in-ring worker. Hall had just that oozing machismo shit was legit because that's what he did.
Bro.
He oozed it. Like the dude was cool. You know what I mean?
Like I think Hall was one of the first bad guys that I saw that it was cool. Like people booing them, but this motherfucker's cool as shit, bro.
but see, here's the thing. That too is where I'm going to give Kevin Nash credit as well, because Kevin Nash as Diesel, when he made that turn after the '95 Survivor Series, after he lost the belt to Brett. When he started going to the trainer role, I think Nash became cool at that point. I didn't anything before that. I wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
But when he made the turn, I can say that. And it's like I'm not up here like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be a whole knock on Kevin Nash. No, I say I prefer as far as the character, the influence. It is Scott Hall because just his mind for just how things went in just his matches,
how to make people feel stuff, bro.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's no slight on Kevin Nash. It's just the connection just wasn't there for me with Nash. I always thought Nash was kind of being like a pretender, Like Hall was the one.
Hall was legit. You could look at Hall
was
like
legit.
this motherfucker's legit, bro. Like,
yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now could Kevin Nash could he match that charisma? Yes, he could. Is Nash one of the best big men out there? That's debatable. Because I think Sid Vicious can give him a run for his money.
Oh, most
I think
definitely.
The Undertaker can give a run for his money.
Most
I think Yokozuna could give a run for the money.
I agree.
Before he got big, before he got too big.
Yeah, I honestly think the thing that made me look at Nash differently is his feud with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
In the matches they had. Because I didn't see him in that light until him and The Undertaker crossed paths. And now I was like, oh, he's one of them. Like, he is one of them.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. When he made that turn in 95, when he turned after the feud with Brett, and then you saw the matches he did. I'll never forget one match Nash did. It was the match he had with Shawn Michaels, Good Friends, Better Enemies.
Yep.
That match there, it showed. I think what it comes down to is when Nash is motivated, when he was motivated to do something, he can pull out a great performance. We saw that with WrestleMania 12 with Undertaker. We saw that with Good Friends, Better Enemies. You saw when they were the outsiders. I mean, Hall would do a lot of the bulk of the match. But if you are into what you're doing, you're motivated, you're gonna get the best out of Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
So but as just personal preference, I prefer Scott Hall. But as a duo, the outsiders, I like the outsiders.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree with that.
Now, I'll throw Sean Waltman in there as well as the original, the Wolfpack, because I think Sean Waltman is very underrated. Although I interviewed the dude years ago, and that interview didn't go very well, in my opinion. It didn't go very well in my opinion. But that was then. This is now. So I think that he doesn't get enough credit for his what he did for the NWO. As you know, I think a lot of people thought that he didn't belong with them in the Hall of Fame. I beg to differ with that one. I think he did belong with them in the Hall of Fame as far as the NWO goes. Because I mean, look, dude, the guy you look at Hall and Nash going to WCW. They played off of the characters they did, but Scott Hall was already the Diamond Stud before this, and that was pretty much Razor Ramon without the accent.
Yeah,
but they played off of those WWF characters, and a lot of people don't get that Sean Waltman did the same shit. He played off the 1, 2, 3 kid by becoming 6. He did nothing different. He dressed the same, wore the same wrestling attire. They all played that shit well, and I don't think Sean Waltman gets enough credit for that. He's like one of the guys in the wrestling business that just don't get enough credit for what he was able to do in those years when it was not cool to be a cruiserweight. Yep. He was out there doing it.
Yep. Putting people on too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That's a good point, man. That's a very good point. Because his work with the cruiserweights in there kind of leveled out the NWO. It really did.
Well, you had your workers there because it did. You had Hogan was the heavyweight. That would go for the heavyweight title. Yep. Hall and Nash were the tag champions. They would go for the tag belts. Sean Waltman would fill that cruiserweight role. They just need another guy there that would fill that U.S. TV title role. And I don't think they ever had that guy.
I don't think so either.
They never had that because the workhorse of the group, the two workhorses of the faction, out of all those guys in the NWO, the two workhorses were Scott Hall and Sean Waltman. Yep. That's where your two guys where you knew they were going to go out there. I mean, look at the feud that Waltman had with Eddie Guerrero. Look at the feud that Waltman had with Dean Malenko.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Look at the shit he did with Ric Flair. Like I said before, very, very underrated as far as what he did. But then coming over there, I mean, one of the big first shots from the Monday Night War of the WWF firing back at WCW was Sean Waltman. People say Mike Tyson. Back. No, Sean Waltman coming back over and becoming X-Pac as far as DX. That was the big shot. Mike Tyson, yes, I'm not discrediting Mike Tyson, but that big shot was somebody defecting over because everybody always defected to them. Somebody was now defecting over to the WWF side. Yep. That was starting to turn the tide there.